Melvin Purvis was energetic, he was skilled, he was focused, he was bright. And when he went up against Pretty Boy Floyd, he was very successful. When he had to go up against John Dillinger, he was getting in the ring with Muhammad Ali.
Let's play a game, Mr. President. It's called spin the die. Y'all get up against that wall.
Melvin Purvis was a member of a white Southern elite with very traditional values, like chivalry, that are handed down generation to generation.
This was a man who was very cultured, loved opera, incredibly well-read, studied law at the University of South Carolina, came from a very, very good family.
You use the term aristocratic, sounds snobbish, but he was.
Dillinger came from kind of a lower middle class background. He did come from a, quote, criminal class, as the criminal class was thought of in the 1930s.
I haven't been any places.
Well, some of the places I've been ain't so hot. The only thing important is where somebody's going.
Where are you going?
Anywhere I want.
John Dillinger began his career of crime in Mooresville, a quiet Indiana town southwest of Indianapolis. Here is the Friends Church where he went as a boy, but he spent his youth idling about pool rooms.
Dillinger was born out of the combination of youth, ignorance, and drunkenness. He robbed a local grocer. He was sent to prison for 10 years.
He was in the penitentiary at Michigan City.
And he was, he was a kid.
Action!
Before we started shooting, I had the opportunity to travel with Michael to Mooresville. And Mooresville is about 60, 70 miles from Owensboro, where I was born. I saw where he'd grown up. The farm still stands, which was super helpful for me. We went to the Dillinger Museum in northern Indiana. They have the pants, he was wearing, the suit pants that he was wearing when he was taken out in front of the biographical. I put them on. We were pretty much the same size.
If he has the right shoes and the right clothes and the right fabric and it feels the right way on him, it helps him get there. But although I think that this character of John Dillinger burns deeply inside of him. Ready, set, and action.
It was just to try to get into Dillinger's head, or allow him to get into mine.
This is John Dillinger's coat. It's made by...
I've always liked thinking of every role as being, like an investigation. And people don't understand, why am I looking for these things?
Christian's about doing the work, about acquiring those characteristics and soaking up the experiential kind of research.
Just a normal kind of shooting position, just slightly bent, pushing it out into that position.
No round in the chamber, no round in the magazine.
Right. Because I couldn't clone of anybody better. I'm flattered you have my accent. Christian Bale came to South Carolina. He spoke to a lot of people who had known my father as children. He asked a lot of questions about my father's mannerisms and things of that sort. Christian asked every question you could possibly ask. For him, there was no detail that was unimportant.
Johnny and I met like 3 times throughout the whole course of this movie.
Yeah, hypnotic. Hypnotic. Yep. Okay. Yep.
It was a real pleasure to sort of play cat and mouse with him.
It's a fictional scene where Purvis does meet with Dillinger.
Johnny? Well.
It's 2 fighters getting in the ring, taking a poke at each other, trying to suss each other out psychologically.
You act like a competent man, Mr. Purvis. You got a few qualities. But up close, toe to toe, when somebody's about to die right here, right now, I'm used to that. How about you?
Dillinger is using the opportunity to find out as much as he can about Purvis. And as they're separating, just in a quiet voice, Johnny said,
"Gotta get yourself another line of work, Melvin."
And it just stops Purvis.
Melvin is quite shaken by that. that this man was able to tell him something about himself, which was shocking because maybe it was true.
Dillinger brought to Chicago, recaptured after he had escaped from Lima, Ohio, taken to Crown Point, Indiana, the Lake County Jail, to be tried for the murder of a policeman.
Dillinger, he had a natural charisma. He was savvy about public relations.
Daddy, how long does it take you to go through a bank?
Oh, about 1 minute, 40 seconds. Flat.
He loved people. He was well-mannered. He wasn't a sociopath.
I stick with my pals, and my pals stick with me.
You can see on his face that he's laughing. Dillinger not only was doing well with reporters, he knew he was doing well, and he liked it.
He spoke to them and owned them while he was speaking to them. That's it.
When he escaped, within days of giving these interviews, people felt it was almost like someone they knew had gotten out of jail.
It does seem unbelievable that Dillinger could have escaped so soon after he was put in prison with all the blaring of publicity. While in Washington today, President Roosevelt said, John Dillinger is making a mock of
Hamilton has a 34-year-old sister in Detroit. Arrest her. Pick up all known Dillinger associates.
Hoover had a real nasty dislike for Dillinger. He made Hoover and his boys look like chimps, you know.
Create informants, Agent Purvis. The suspects ought to be interrogated vigorously.
Tell me where he is! I don't know!
He's suffering. I need to sedate him.
If you interfere, I will arrest you.
No obsolete notions of sentimentality.
Tell me!
Take direct, expedient action. Do we understand each other, Agent Purvis?
Purvis wanted to step forward into a new progressive phase of law enforcement.
This is a Bureau of Scientific Crime Detection. New, modern, up to the minute.
But the future that Hoover imagines is kind of a brutal expediency. Hoover had no hesitation about suspending habeas corpus, picking people up and throwing them in jail to compel them to become informants.
Where is... I can't hear you!
Ends justify the means.
Those men cannot treat a woman in this way.
And that generated within Melvin Purvis a certain disharmony, a dissonance. And he becomes a man in conflict.
If you aid us apprehending John Dillinger, I'll give you my word.
Hoover started to act in a way that I imagined Purvis would not have found honorable.
I think you did this. I think you told immigration to pick me up.
And so he started to feel like his hands were getting dirty from this. By the time they got Dillinger, he had to compromise himself and his own values so much by that point that he was questioning really who was the loser here.
Right after the Dillinger case, the relationship between Hoover and my father started to sour.
Melvin H. Purvis, the nemesis of John Dillinger.
I think Hoover thought my father was getting too much publicity.
I have just completed 8.5 years in the service of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, United States Department of Justice. And I'm leaving that service with considerable regret.
My experience with all the FBI guys around Quantico, I found that we were actually telling them a lot of information about Purvis because in their FBI records, so much of his history had just been erased.
Since escaping from this Indiana jail, Dillinger... 8:30 in the morning, armed with his wooden toy pistol, Dillinger overawed his guard... And again shot his way to St. Paul, where he got away after another... The leader in bank robberies in New Carlisle, Ohio, Farrell, Pennsylvania, Indianapolis.
Lucky! You old son of a gun!
He built himself into a legend.
Let's get a load of this empty purple bin, shall we?
Yeah, but when are we going to get...
Well, what about tomorrow night?
I've got to commute you.
Say, do you think you're doing me a favor by keeping me locked up in this filthy trap for the rest of my life? So that I can rot in this hole. No, thanks.
And I think Dillinger had some idea of what he was doing.
So long, Blackie.
I really believe that he was at peace with the fact that it wasn't probably going to be a very long ride.
Die the way you lived, all of a sudden. That's the way to go. Don't drag it out.
But it was going to be a significant ride.